This is QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. I am Umudu Gajaga, and thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. President Adama Barrow is participating in the Nigeria International Energy Summit 2026 taking place in Abuja, where African leaders and global energy stakeholders are meeting to shape the continent's energy future. QCell, in partnership with the Q Group Foundation, Tuesday officially launched the 2026 Ndogu Ramadan initiative, which aims to distribute Ramadan food provisions to over 300 communities across the country. Delegates of the UK-Gambia trade mission, led by UK High Commissioner Harriet King, on Tuesday paid a courtesy call on Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow at the State House as part of a two-day business forum. The African Union Mission for Mali and the Sahel, MISAHEL, has convened its annual staff retreat in the Gambia, bringing together senior officials, international partners and technical experts to assess the mission's progress and refine strategies. The Gambia Police Force has announced the temporary suspension of permits for road shows across the country, citing growing concern over public safety, traffic congestion and potential security risks. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. President Adama Barrow is participating in the Nigeria International Energy Summit 2026 taking place in Abuja, where African leaders and global energy stakeholders are meeting to shape the continent's energy future. Addressing the opening ceremony today, he called for stronger regional cooperation and accelerated investment in sustainable energy. Aliou Cissé reports.
The four-day summit from the 2nd to the 5th of February under the theme Energy for Peace and Prosperity, Securing Our Shared Future brings together world leaders, ministers, energy executives, regulators and investors to discuss oil, gas, power, technology and energy financing across Africa. Deliberations will center on regional energy cooperation, gas development, regulatory reform, investment and energy security. President Barrow delivered a presidential address today at the State House Banquet Hall in Abuja during the official opening ceremony. He described energy access as central to Africa's peace, stability and economic prosperity, noting that it remains a central pillar of the Gambia's national development agenda.
Like other African nations, the Gambia recognizes that energy must be diversified, sufficient and accessible to all. While fossil fuel continues to play a lead role in supporting development, the long-term sustainability of our economies depends on accelerating the deployment of renewable energy, strengthening regional power pools, and investing in energy efficiency and human capital.
The Gambian leader urged fair climate financing and genuine technology transfer to support Africa's energy transition, while respecting national circumstances and development priorities. He urged participants to move beyond declarations to practical implementation and accountability, expressing hope that the summit will produce concrete and impactful actions for the continent's energy future.
Energy is far more than a commodity. It is a strategic enabler of development, a foundation of national security, a growing determinant of peace and stability. Where energy is scarce, development stalls. Where it is unreliable, inequality deepens.
Following his arrival in Abuja earlier on Monday evening, President Barrow attended a ministerial reception and dinner as a special guest of honor, where he also delivered remarks on the importance of the summit.
For us in Africa, energy security is not a matter of mere speeches. It is an urgent, practical, and moral imperative.
As part of the summit, high-level sessions are examining cross-border pipelines, Africa's gas strategy, upstream and downstream investments, and power sector transformation. Gambian energy officials are also participating in panel discussions, including contributions from the Minister of Energy and representatives of the Gambian National Petroleum Corporation, highlighting the Gambia's role in regional energy dialogue. The president's participation in the summit comes as he prepares to embark on a nationwide tour from next Saturday to inaugurate a series of new energy projects, part of his government's drive to achieve universal access to electricity by the end of the year. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
QCell, in partnership with the Q Group Foundation, Tuesday officially launched the 2026 Ndogo Ramadan initiative, which aims to distribute Ramadan food provisions to over 300 communities across the country. Usman Jatta was at the Q City complex in Bijilo for the launch, and he now reports.
Since its establishment in 2009, UK-Gambia Limited has been committed to giving back to Gambians during the holy month of Ramadan. As part of its corporate social responsibility, the company, the country's GSM operator with the largest coverage, continues to operate under its Sunubus concept. From mosque iftars to Quranic school iftar distributions, what began with support to just 50 communities will now expand to over 300 communities as of February 2026. Distributions primarily target madrasas, Islamic schools, orphanages, mosques, prisons, security installations, and community organizations. The essential dry food items are intended to help families and institutions cater for children and the vulnerable during Ramadan. By Sheikh Jah, head of the Ndogo team, and Lamin Yafa are among the coordinators overseeing the initiative.
This year, we are targeting more than 300 communities, which is why we have formed 3 teams to ensure the distributions are completed before the start of Ramadan. This is part of QCell's responsibility. 18 years is not 18 days or 18 months. Each year, the initiative grows bigger. At the beginning, we were only targeting 18 mosques for iftar. That effort gave birth to this expansion from 50 to 100, 150, 200, and now over 300 Quranic centers.
Sheikh Isa Fode Dabo, President of the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, and Muhammad Bashir Dabo, a representative of regional imams of Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, both commended QCell for the laudable initiative and urged Gambians to emulate the gesture of Mohamed Jah.
Today is a great and joyous day for the Council, bringing together imams and distributing food provisions to schools to support them during Ramadan. Allah has blessed Mohamed Jah, and every Gambian and Muslim should learn from him. What will help the Gambia progress are initiatives like this. We should try to emulate the Q Group's gesture. May Allah continue to make things easy for everyone.
The initiative is led by Q Group Chairman Mohamed Jah, who describes the effort not as charity but as a commitment to return to Gambian communities what he believes rightfully belongs to them.
We are more committed than ever to giving back to those in need, preparing them for the challenges that Ramadan may bring. It is time for charity, for solidarity, and for sharing the blessing we've received. This is what Gambia and Gambians are known for. Our hope is that this initiative serves as a beacon of hope and compassion for the beneficiaries.
Alongside food distribution, QCell also organizes national Quranic recitation and Azan competitions during the holy month of Ramadan. By distributing food provisions to over 300 communities across the length and breadth of the country, QCell is not only providing Gambians with food provisions during the Ramadan, it is also seeking more blessings and prayers to continue its valuable contributions as the country's main telecom giant. Usman Jatta reporting for QTV News from Q City, Bijilo.
Delegates of the UK-Gambia Trade Mission, led by the UK High Commissioner Harriet King, on Tuesday paid a courtesy call on Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow at State House as part of a 2-day business forum aimed at strengthening trade and investment relations between the two countries. Ansmane Sonyasi reports.
Speaking to journalists following a closed-door meeting with Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, British High Commissioner to the Gambia Harriet King underscored the long-standing and cordial relations between the United Kingdom and the Gambia. She thanked Vice President Jallow for receiving the delegation and expressed optimism about the outcomes of the trade mission, adding that the engagement provided UK businesses with valuable insights into investment opportunities in the Gambia and strengthened confidence in the country's economic potential.
As ever in the Gambia, an extremely warm welcome. I mean, the first impressions that the investors have had of the Gambia is of that smiling coast of Africa, that warm welcome. So he was utterly delighted. The UK is very close to his heart. I mean, he talked about the fact that 85% of people in senior positions in government have studied in the UK. So it's a deep historic relationship, and he spoke of that from the bottom of his heart. So that was great to see and to hear.
Furthermore, she said discussions with the Vice President focus on strengthening bilateral trade ties, improving the investment climate, and enhancing collaboration in priority areas such as agriculture, energy, tourism, manufacturing, and infrastructure development.
We were very grateful to the Vice President for having taken the time to meet with the delegation. As I explained to His Excellency, this is the first historic UK-Gambia trade mission that we know of since independence, so a really, really important milestone. Getting investors who are genuinely really, really keen to look at the Gambia to come here and see with their own eyes the real potential the Gambia has for investment. So they had a chance to introduce themselves to His Excellency the Vice President, introduce their ideas, why they have particular interest in the Gambia, and really we're all grateful to his time. It shows how important UK investment is to the government of the Gambia and to the people of the Gambia, so we were very grateful.
Also addressing the media, the Chief Executive Officer of the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, GAIPA, Ousseynou Senghor, stressed the government's commitment to promoting private sector-led growth. He described the trade mission as a success, noting that several business-to-business engagements and networking sessions had already produced tangible outcomes, including expressions of interest and potential partnerships, and thanked the government through VP Jallow and the Ministry of Trade for the strong show of support.
We had a brief call with His Excellency the Vice President. The Vice President is a very key supporter of GAIPA, particularly in terms of investment promotion. See, he's always giving us ideas before we've debated on issues like this. So the ambassador, the High Excellency, the High Commissioner was able to explain the bilateral and strong ties between the Gambia and the United Kingdom. The businesses that accompany us also explained why they were here and what areas they want to explore.
Officials hope that the UK-Gambia trade mission will further consolidate economic ties between the two countries and pave the way for increased trade flows, investment, and long-term cooperation. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
From that report by Ansmane Sonyasi, we will now go for a commercial break, and when we return, we have more national and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
Jata kendea akumaseta na domori mirawon lela wale ya sabu FAO itolni ministry kunda menu marta jata kendea la ye bulodi nyola kasarta kendo lulondi bembe dending domor karsali ngolla aninna domor nyalla fo lafta ijato ye kendea bang woto ila domoro nying sosoma fengolu lafaje luolum ila domor sango nying kono FAO itolni ministry kunda mem marta jata kendea la yenyin sute andu yakanu fanan isinyin sosoma fengolu domor sang sabato luolum janni be nyin sosoma fengolu tabila isinyin berolu tombon ikono wala no memba kono isa tombon wala soso kesolu menu tinyata isibe tombon foye senea set ibe hakilo bulandila ila soso nyin iko kana afato bonda bala wala ikana lese katu ka tabi anyanta tabila nyamen fayesi waka sabu fang gaso do katara kono waka bole isinyi fajindi wala iyeyila janni ibe munafannela wala ibe domola katu nyin sosoma fengolu ikono be farim munafangolla puru ila jata kende ala fannala al sosoma fengolu domo luolu bari al si sartolu noma yemennu landi domor siri ngolla karola anin domor nya kendo la fannala ibaje la jata kende ya si sabati be Gambia banko kanja
wetgu yaram mu ngi doore ci ni ñuy jëfoy ñam yu wóor buntu liggéeykaay United Nations seen banqaas bi dox ci tëddali ni dund ak mbayteef di Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations dal di jàppale ante ak ministre bi saytu wàlli wéet garam gi ñu ngi leen ay fàttalil ne waxtu wu nekk rek ne ñu ànd ak cet ci jamono boo xamee ni ñu ngi téye ak di defar ñam waxtu wu ne rek raxasal sa loxo bem set ak saabu ak ndox mu set balaa ak gannaaw boo xamee ni yaa ngi amee ñam gannaaw buñ jëfee wanag yi ak balaa ñuy leyal xale ñu gis ne tamit waxtu wu nekk rek dëpp nañu suñuy ñam ci waxtu woo xamee ni nii nekkuñ di ko lekk te tamit ñu saxal nag cet ak yaram raxasal say jumtuwaay toggeekaay balaa ak gannaaw boo xamee ni jëfoo nga ko ngir rek mën cee muslu ci doomi jàngoro yi ci wàllu si ne ñu yéwénal lu jëm ci wàlli ñam yu wóor te jëfoo it tànn yi tamit lu jëm ci wàlli wér-gu-yaram ñu ànd jëfoo ko sarta yi nga xam ne ni moom lañ teg ci suñ ñami tànneef yi.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. The African Union Mission for Mali and Sahel, Miss Sahel, has convened its annual staff retreat in the Gambia, bringing together senior officials, international partners and technical experts to assess the mission's progress and refine strategies and amid growing security and humanitarian challenges in the region. Loli M. Camara covered the opening and filed this report.
Officials said the retreat comes at a critical moment as the Sahel continues to grapple with escalating security threats, terrorism, governance deficits, humanitarian crises, and economic hardship. The meeting also follows a series of high-level African Union engagements, including Peace and Security Council retreats and AU-UN conferences, underscoring the urgent need for stronger regional and international cooperation. Opening the retreat, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Lang Yabo, representing the government of the Gambia, reaffirmed the country's commitment to regional peace, stability, and multilateral cooperation, describing the timing of the retreat as particularly significant.
It is our belief that a promising future characterized by hope, development, and unity, especially for the youth of the Sahel region and the entire African continent, is within our reach. In this regard, the outcome of this Banjul retreat would go a long way in charting a new way forward for the Sahel, consolidate historic partnerships, promote cooperation and investment in what matters for the region and its people.
Established in 2013, Miss Sahel operates under 4 core pillars, including political affairs, peace and security, and human rights. Head of Mission to Mali and the Sahel, Dr. Momodou Tangara, said the high-level gathering is intended to facilitate collective reflection on Miss Sahel's journey, evolving socio-economic, political, and security dynamics in the Sahel, and shared solutions to the region's complex challenges.
As we navigate this complex landscape, we must adapt our strategies, strengthen our partnerships, and align our actions with the region's pressing needs. The default expectation for our team is that we examine the complex developments affecting the Sahel and chart the best way forward for implementing the AU Sahel strategy.
Over the years, Miss Sahel has served as a key platform for dialogue, coordination, and engagement in one of Africa's most fragile regions. This year's retreat allowed staff to review activities planned for 2025, contribute to a new strategic vision for 2026-2028, and develop a comprehensive action plan and mission calendar for the upcoming year. The meeting also seeks to strengthen teamwork and institutional cohesion among the participants, is Dr. Maurice Nguele Leguele, Senior Advisor at International IDEA.
It represents a crucial opportunity for proactive reflection on the future trajectory and positioning of this institution so that it can successfully deliver on its key objectives and pillars. My colleague just mentioned them: political governance, security, human rights, gender and humanitarian action, socio-economic development.
The retreat is expected to yield practical recommendations to guide the African Union's future engagement in Mali and the Sahel, deepen the cooperation with regional and global partners, and support long-term peace, stability and development across the region. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
The Gambia Police Force has announced the temporary suspension of permits for road shows across the country, citing growing concern over public safety, traffic congestion and potential security risks. Authorities say the measure is to maintain order and ensure public safety. Yafatu Gay reports.
Road shows, widely used by artists and event promoters to publicize upcoming events, have long been a vibrant feature of the country's entertainment scene. However, authorities say recent assessments show they now pose safety risk to pedestrians and motorists, disrupt traffic flow, and at times hinder emergency services and public order. As a result of these findings, no approvals will be granted for road shows nationwide until further notice. The GPF notice stated, adding that the suspension covers all mobile promotions, street parades and similar activities held on public roads, highways and open spaces. During a telephone interview on QTV This Morning show, the PRO Superintendent Sisawo explained what prompted the suspension.
The Gambia Police Force of recent has received a lot of complaints with respect to road shows related activities, wherein some people take advantage of the road shows to rob people, to assault people, to cause chaos.
He also clarified the duration of the ban.
We don't know for now, since the leadership is reviewing this, and I know our officers and people who are organizing this would naturally have a sit down with the command at certain instance to be able to talk about some of the things.
The PRO also explained that the move aims to protect the public's fundamental rights to free movement.
We have to remember that the Gambia Police Force is responsible for the peace and stability of this country, for the protection of life and properties, wherein activities are leading to that, where people's life and their properties are not safe. Then it is within our mandate to ensure that we are able to contain that.
The GPF has warned that any road show held without authorization during the suspension will be deemed unlawful and dealt with according to the law. Event organizers, promoters and the public are urged to fully comply with the directive. Authorities emphasized that while the suspension temporarily limits a key promotional tool for artists and organizers, public safety, smooth traffic flow, and unobstructed operation of emergency services remain the priority. Police cited past incidents, including one in Bruceby, as examples of the risk posed by improperly managed road shows. It will be interesting to see whether the suspension remains in place in what is a presidential election year, when all political parties will be expected to organize road shows and rallies. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
The Gambia will join fellow Commonwealth nations in Fiji for the 2026 Commonwealth Law Ministers meeting, continuing its effort to strengthen engagement with the bloc since rejoining in 2018. Julden Jaya reports.
Marks another step in the Gambia's renewed engagement with the Commonwealth following its return to the organization in February 2018 after a 5-year absence. Since rejoining, the country has actively participated in Commonwealth platforms promoting democratic governance, legal reform, and access to justice. The 4-day meeting from the 9th to 12th February 2026 at the Sheraton Fiji Golf and Beach Resort in Nadi will convene justice ministers, attorneys general, and senior legal officials from all 56 Commonwealth countries. Fiji's hosting is particularly significant, given its own recent Commonwealth history. The Pacific Island nation faced suspension after a 2006 military coup and again in 2009 following constitutional abrogation, which barred it from intergovernmental meetings and other Commonwealth activities. Following credible elections on 17 September 2014, Fiji was fully reinstated later that month. About 150 delegates are expected to attend, exploring ways to strengthen legal systems, enhance access to justice, and promote fundamental rights. Ministers will also discuss how robust legal frameworks underpin democratic participation, fair economies, and safe communities. The meeting will be chaired by Fiji's Minister of Justice and Acting Attorney General, Honorable Siromi Turaga, under the theme Anchoring Justice in a Changing Tide, Strengthening the Rule of Law for a Resilient Future. Discussions will address how justice systems can remain adaptable and inclusive amid challenges such as climate change, digital transformation, and regional cooperation. Commonwealth Secretary General Honorable Shirley Bochi stressed that the rule of law is essential for peace, stability, and development, noting that weakened legal protections disproportionately affect ordinary citizens. Side events will feature youth leaders, disability rights advocates, and people with lived experiences in the justice system, ensuring diverse perspectives inform policy decisions. Outcomes from the meeting are expected to guide discussions at the 2026 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Antigua and Barbuda, helping member states, including the Gambia, advance justice, legal reform, and the rule of law across the Commonwealth. Reporting for QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
Now, before we end this news bulletin, here's a recap of our main news headlines. President Adama Barrow is participating in the Nigeria International Energy Summit 2026 taking place in Abuja, where African leaders and global energy stakeholders are meeting to shape the continent's energy future. QCell, in partnership with the Q Group Foundation, Tuesday officially launched the 2026 Qundagu Ramadan Initiative, which aims to distribute Ramadan food provisions to over 300 communities across the country. Delegates of the UK-Gambia Trade Mission, led by UK High Commissioner Harriet King, on Tuesday paid a courtesy call on Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow at the State House as part of a two-day business forum. The African Union Mission for Mali and Sahel, MISAHEL, has convened its annual staff retreat in the Gambia, bringing together senior officials, international partners, and technical experts to assess the mission's progress and refine strategies. The Gambia Police Force has announced the temporary suspension of permits for road shows across the country, citing growing concern over public safety, traffic congestion, and potential security risk. That's all we have time for in this bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10 for another news bulletin.